Hello, hello. Hope everybody's doing good out there. With the split between the PvP and PvE deep right around the bend, um, it's going to be more important than ever to get some good Solido replicator bases at your disposal. Um, so for this one, we're going to be taking some of the tips and tricks from our advanced Solido build and incorporating it into an easier base that you can throw out pretty quick in the PvP areas of the deep. Um, so one of the biggest upsides to using a Solido, especially out in the PvP areas, is just how quickly you can throw it together, especially if you've got someone else helping you put it up. Um, and the goal for this one is a base that you can plop down just about anywhere, whether it be to find shelter from a storm, safety from enemies, or enough room to fit your carrier. And I think it also helps if your safe havens could potentially double as a functional base. So you'll see this one has the ability to do just that. And while doing a freehand build for a safe haven is generally pretty quick, I found using a Solido greatly minimizes the amount of stress that you'll experience, helps you visualize and strategize your location a little bit better, um, and you can actually sort of take the time to build a decent looking base instead of just throwing a mess together as fast as you can. Um, Also, in my experience, uh, for a safe haven that you want to be able to fit a carrier in, um, you're going to want like one stake at least, just because those things are massive. And getting a carrier to fit inside one, single advanced subfief claim area uh, either leaves you with a crammed carrier or a space that just kind of looks like a box. So we use one stake in this build and just one horizontal. And one benefit to that I've found is that it gives you more area to hide your subfief, so sort of doubles as an extra layer of protection by having more land claim and more sort of nooks and crannies for your important things to be hidden. Alrighty, let's take a look at what all you want to bring with you, and should all fit into an assault and your backpack. Might vary a little based on what type of water you want to refine out there, if any. I'm going to go blood purifier just because I think it is slightly more efficient. Alrighty, so here we are at our favorite build spot. We just topped sieges to find one that was empty, and we are up at just below the Uhodam on the west side of Haga Basin. And as you can see, just a boatload of good resources here for building a base. Nice and flat. Um, so essentially what you're going to want to do here is find where you want to place the center of your base. Um, let's go ahead and do it here. And then you'll put a foundation underneath it. And then we'll go all the way out to the edge here. Then destroy the thief so we can get one more tile out. And then we'll go 5 high, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll make a roof here. And we should be able to place a fresh sub-thief right in the middle here, and it should line up perfectly to the middle of that foundation, and that's what we want. That. As you can see, we're right in the middle here, so that is looking just about where we want it. Now that we've got that centered, let's go ahead and lay our stake down. Alright, now we've got our full land claim here to build on. So let's get building. We'll just pop some of our mats in this box here. So post-production, I realized that I had unintentionally left this marker foundation here. So when building 2 and then 4 high, I ended up building 3 and then 5 high, which will leave you a bit too crammed to place it in the world without using a vertical stake. So keep in mind, you only want to go 2 high for your ground level and 2 more, so 4 for your basement level. And you'll see I've got 5 here by accident. Alright, so how do we put this thing together? Well, it's not too complicated. First thing we'll do is go 2 high for our ground level, then add 2 more for our basement, and then this top level here is basically going to be the platform for our whole base. Next thing we'll do is get our support going, which is going to be based off of this special wide stairs here, and you'll just go from 2 high, you'll go 2 out. Do that on either side here. And honestly, that's going to be most of your base there. So from here, what I'd say is let's go ahead and just fill out the platform, and that's going to be a really good starting point for us to figure out what our zone looks like. Got a good platform here. let's get the hangar built. So for the hangar, we'll bring it in to have one block on each side here for wiggle room. That way we can have a little bit of a balcony and we're not jammed up against the side. So let's go ahead and throw a special here. We'll get the hangar up. And you're going to be using a lot of these to make up most of your base, these special large gates. So we'll get a large gate. Round it off. We'll go 7 high. Okay, so again the hangar is 3 wide, 2 deep, with some rounded corners. Then for the roof, let's do it a little something like this. So we'll build that rim around the outside and then use some special wide ramps to connect them. And we'll seal this part off here by doing a corner ramp here. Half ramp, half ramp. Then full ramps times 3. Back to half ramp, half ramp. Then a half ramp corner. And to fill these in, there you have it. That should be our hangar for the most part. What we'll do to bring these in is use these wide ramp edges. That'll sort of round off yeah, by using those wide ramp edges, it'll sort of round off that and make it really easy to get a penta shield in there. So there's the hangar. Let's go ahead and get our room ready. So to make our room, we'll just, again, we'll go to these large gates here. we'll do 2. Okay, yeah, we gotta add 1 more row here. That's okay, we still got some wiggle room. One thing I like to do, instead of having these big old angry falcons pointing inside, is just cover them up with some more large gates, which works for covering those up as well as adding some nooks and crannies to hide stuff in. Okay, so let's go ahead and flesh this room out a bit. We'll just fill in the walls here. Let's get more plastone. Alright, we're back with some plastone. And yeah, building in Hangar, it's a little more expensive than the deep. Half cost out in the deep. So that's why we ran out, because we are budgeting for the deep. And then here, what I like to do is build an upstairs, and to do that we'll just build a set of stairs here, and then a roof, and another set of stairs. We can fill this whole area in. I think we've got to finish building up our basement in order to get all the structural stability we need. So let's work on that. Okay, for the basement, essentially what we're going to do is round off the edges here. With these special pieces. Like so. These are the wide ramps left and right. Put a floor there. And then what we'll do is close off the inside there with these wide wall inclines. So I think with this side being left, we want to stay left. Add a wall here. And then we'll add these floors in here. In order to fill the floor in, use the wide triangles left and right. Do the same thing on the other side. Again, we're going to use these wide ramp edges to sort of round off these bottoms. And fill in the floor. Use these wide inclines left and right. To enclose it. And then these wide floor triangles to fill in the gap there. And there you have it. There's our basement. From here, what I like to do is give a little bit of an extra balcony here. Oops. Make sure you put some railing so you don't fall. Let's finish up the basement. One thing you're going to want to do is add walls here. And this is going to provide you some more structural stability that you need. Boom. Add yourself a little hatch here. And that's pretty much it. Let's see if we've got the structural stability we need. We want to add a wall here. I think that'll do it for us. Yep, there we go. All right. And That's how I would add my upstairs. And then from here, let's go ahead and add a roof, which we're going to give it a little bit of a Shai-Hulud vibe. So let's switch to Harkonnen here. Perfect. And then from here, just so it's not just a flat roof, what I'll do is some more of the special ramps here. To give it a little bit of an angled roof here, and what you can do is throw a bunch of generators in here. Got a bunch of generators in there. You can also hide generators here. There you have it. That's pretty much it. Let's see. What else is there? You'll want to add railing, of course. Okay, and the last thing would probably be the Penta shield. Which, the way that I add that in is by making, we'll sort of do it here. Like this sort of thing. I think that might be as good as we can get it. So what we'll do to lock that in is just build a wall right above it. And I'll power it up so we can see it. Alright, so there's the Penta shield. So we're just going to close this top area in. Okay, so that's how you get the pentashield in, and yeah, easier to throw it together once it's on Solido. And now we are pretty much finished, and you're free to add decorations as you wish. Let's add some lighting, that way we don't have to think about it later. That's one thing I like to include in the shell. So one that may not seem super obvious that I like to do is put it a little chome light right here. And that goes a long way. And I'll put some of these Atreides wall lights here, which will do a good job at illuminating the whole room. Up here I like to use the Harkonnen lights. Well, gonna have to grab more salvage, but you get the idea. And I like to put some lights up here. Because what else are you gonna do with this spot? And your sub VP can hide anywhere. You can put it down here. You can put it even further down in here. You could put it in whatever you end up doing for your ground level reinforcement / access. Hide it in between the walls or in the roof, or even I think you can enclose it up in here. Might have enough room for that. So a lot of different options there. But there you have it. Your very own safe haven, which will operate very well as a Solido. Alright, now that you've got pretty much all your lighting down, what placeables do you want to bring to your safe haven? I like pretty much just a little bit of storage. I'm going to put some water here. That way people have easy access to it. You can line these up better when you're putting the whole thing together. Making it look all pretty. Let's get your storage down here. And then I like to make a regular old fabricator. And a Repair machine. And we were gonna do some blood purifying up here as our form of water. Then we can put some furniture here. Do all sorts of different things, but you've got your shell, and this is what you'll use to make your Solido. Your very own Solido safe haven. So yeah, as you can see, that wasn't too hard to throw together, and plopping that down is super easy because you just got the one block. You can put it down just about anywhere, and yeah, not too heavy on resources. Fits your carrier and crawler real nice, and great for just about whatever you might need. You know, instead of doing a second level here, if you want to put like a large spicer, you could. So you've got all sorts of different options there. But anyway, that's going to do it for this one. I hope that was helpful. And we'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.